Bright Duty. Every student matters.
Hello guys, welcome back to our lesson. So today we have chapter 8 from your geography section of the book, and the title of this chapter is called Manufacturing Industries. So basically this chapter is all about different kinds of industries which manufacture finished goods, different varieties of goods. Now, before we go on to learn what this chapter has, the first topic that we are going to see or deal with is manufacturing, right? What is manufacturing? What do we understand by the term manufacturing and its importance? Why is manufacturing important and how is it related to industries? All right. So, the first question that we have to address here is the meaning of the term manufacturing. What does it mean? So manufacturing basically means the process of producing goods in large quantities by using machines. Goods can be produced in various ways, right? Goods can be produced by using machines. Goods can be produced without using machines. At the end of these process of production, it reaches its result, which is production of finished goods. But in the process, if there is machines involved, right, for the process of production, and if the finished goods that are produced are in large quantity, then that is called manufacturing. That's why when we use the term industries, we often say industries manufacture so and so products. Okay, the Tata and Steel industry or plant manufactures steel plates or beams or etc. Okay, we often use manufacture. That means that the industry manufactures or produces certain products in large quantities by using machines, different kinds of machines used or which aids or helps in the process of production. Okay. Now this process of manufacturing which we just learned, this process involves the use of raw materials. Okay, raw materials are used by the industries for the manufacture of the products. Okay, and the products which are produced, the finished products, the final product, that product is always valuable. Okay, they are more valuable than the raw materials. After they are done in the process of manufacturing and the goods are produced, the end result, the final product turns out to be extremely valuable product which has high demand in the market. This is why they are produced in large quantities. Okay. Now, when we talk about manufacturing sector, when we talk about industries that manufacture products, they are very important for our society, for the economy of any country. Okay, for the economy and development of our nation, of our country, which is India, as well as any nation. Okay, so the development in the sector of manufacturing industries, that indicates the economic strength of a country. So the more industries, the more manufacturing of products, the more products being manufactured or created, or as a result of the process of manufacturing, more products are made. That shows the economic strength of a country, how capable a country is, how rich a country is, or how poor a country is. All right. So that is why manufacturing sector, industries play a very important role in the economic system or in the economic activities of any country. Now, manufacturing industries are also important because it helps to overcome poverty, which is a problem, a challenge faced by countries like India, right? Majority of people are suffering due to poverty. They are poor. Lots of people live under the poverty line. Okay, so in order to overcome the problem of poverty, in order to address the issue of people being or living in poverty, manufacturing industries or industries help in that process. How do they help? They create employment, they create job opportunities which people can take control of, which people can be part of. People can involve themselves in the jobs created by manufacturing industries, and as a result of taking the job, working in the industrial sector, they earn their income, their monthly earnings, and that helps in sustaining themselves, in improving their livelihood, in making sure that they have good standard of living. Alright, that is how they overcome poverty. Now, industries are considered central cause of development in general. They are very important for the development of the country, but particularly they are important for the economic development. Generally, overall, if you look at industries, okay, they play important role in the development and growth of a country. But if you have to point out its specific role, then it is the economic growth and development of any country. Okay. Now let's see why it's so important and how it helps in improving the economy of the country. Because industries and manufacturing industries, it helps in modernizing agriculture. So we have agricultural sector, which is also one of the key important element of our economic system, right, which we learned in the earlier chapter. Now, in this chapter, as we are learning about industries, manufacturing sectors, we must understand that the industries aid or help, provide help, encouragement, support to the agricultural sector for its modernization, for its development. Okay, and manufacturing industries, they create economic opportunities. New opportunities are created as a result of manufacturing industries. They provide employment, okay, they create jobs and provide employment to the people who are engaged in the economic activities in both secondary and tertiary sector. We know that the economic activities are divided into three types: primary, secondary, tertiary, right? The primary is agricultural sector. Secondary is the manufacturing sector, and the tertiary is the service sector, right? We have done this before. So, the secondary sector, which is the manufacturing industries, they provide economic opportunities, job opportunities to the people engaged in that secondary sector, as well as those involved and engaged in the tertiary sector. And overall, the manufacturing industries help reduce people's dependence on agriculture. India is an agricultural country where majority of people are engaged in agricultural activities, which means people heavily depend, a large number of people depend on agriculture for their livelihood. But if the secondary sector, the manufacturing industries, create job opportunities, provide employment, that means by providing employment to the people, it's helping reduce the dependence on agriculture. Now people can join or engage themselves in economic activities in secondary sector as well as the tertiary sector. Okay. The second point, manufacturing industries, they help in conquering poverty. They help overcome poverty, the problem of poverty, which is a big challenge in our country. And how do they help? By providing employment, by creating job opportunities. Okay, if industries are established or set up in remote and far-flung areas in our country, okay, villages, countrysides, rural areas, where people are unemployed, where people don't have jobs. So there, with the setting up of the industries, people can engage in the activities of this particular industrial sector, and that way they can help make their livelihood better. Okay, so by setting up industries in remote areas, in tribal and backward areas, in the countryside, in the rural areas, more employments can be created, and that way poverty can be prevented, or it can be controlled. Okay, or efforts to eradicate poverty can be done. All right. Now, manufacturing industries also help utilize the resources available in our country optimally, okay, very efficiently. All right, there are so many different kinds of resources available in our country: natural, human resource, etc. Right, we have already done this before as well. So if the manufacturing industries are well developed in our country, then the use of the resources available can be done optimally, okay, in a proper way. There are so many people to uh, ready to work. There's so many people who are skilled, who have education, who are healthy, so they can be put to work, and then that can help in the increase of production, okay, increase of economic activities, and that goes on to contribute to the economic development of a country. So with the use of resources, that can happen. And manufacturing industries also help in rising the living standard of the people. So with the provision of employment, with the provision of creation of economic opportunities, people can also earn income. With the increased production, the income of the people also increases, and with that, the living standard of the people also increases. Okay. Manufacturing industries also lead to expansion of trade and commerce. Trade and commerce also expands, and trade and commerce not only expands within one's country but as well as beyond the country. Okay, so when the manufacturing industry develops and grows and does better within our country, it does not mean that trade happens within the boundaries of our country, right? The trade and commerce takes place beyond the boundary. So trade and commerce takes place between India and other foreign countries. Okay, so such activities or such communication or such commerce takes place, which brings in our country much needed foreign exchange. Okay, that also adds to the wealth and economy of our country. Manufacturing industries help transform raw materials into a diverse variety of finished goods of higher value. So the industries, what they do, they use the raw materials, right? And then they manufacture, and as a result of it, finished products are produced. And these finished products are products of high value. Okay, so this is what the uh, manufacturing industries do, and this is how they contribute to the economic development and growth of a nation. Now we all know that India has an agrarian economy. Majority of the people in India, they depend on agriculture or agricultural sector for their livelihood, right? This is why, because of the heavy dependence on our country on agricultural sector by the people, the agro-based industries which are based on agriculture, they play an important role in our country's development. Okay, because the raw materials come from the agricultural sector to the manufacturing sector, where they are manufactured and goods are produced. Okay, India is one of the largest producers of milk, sugarcane, tea, as well as rice, wheat, fruits and vegetables. In the last chapter, we did this at length, right? We saw different crops, different vegetables, different fiber crops, different kind of other products which India produces, the agricultural sector produces, right? Now, these produced goods from the agricultural sector acts as raw materials for the industries. Okay, and those industries which use the raw materials that are produced from agriculture, they are called agro-based industries, agriculture based industries. Okay, now this itself helps us understand how agriculture on one hand and industries on the other hand, they go hand in hand. They are related. Okay, they are linked. They depend on each other for its activities, for its functioning. Okay, the dependent on each other is both for progress and survival. With the dependence on each other, they can progress, they can develop, they can grow, as well as they can survive. Okay, because the agriculture produces raw materials which are used by the industries to produce finished goods of high value. Now, the industries also manufacture. You'll see this as we go on learning more from this chapter. You'll see industrial sectors, manufacturing sectors also produce machines, tools, which are again used or which are again required for the agricultural sector. Because the farmers, how will they cultivate their crops? How will they cultivate certain crops which can be used as raw materials for the industries? They need tools, they need proper equipments, they need tractors, they need proper hoe, they need proper digging tools, etc. Fertilizers, they are all produced by the manufacturing sectors. So you see how linked the two sectors, the agriculture and industrial sector, are. Okay, they're deeply linked with each other. Now, with globalization, how everything is connected, trade and commerce takes place between countries, between different companies which are established all around the world. So with that globalization, exchange of goods, exchange of production, exchange of services, our country's economy has also integrated with the world economy. Okay, so Indian economy is not only restricted within itself, within its boundaries, but rather it's connected, it's integrated with the economy of the world, with different countries' economies. Okay, they exchange products, they trade, they do commerce, all that exchanges, transportation, communication takes place. All right. So our country has also become economically interdependent at the global or national level. As a result of such communication, as a result of such transaction between countries around the globe, what happens? Countries become dependent on each other. Okay, say for example, India produces very good quality and in large quantity cotton textiles, cotton clothes. Now, America, countries like United States of America, or say for example United Kingdom, they do not produce cotton textiles in large quantities like that of India. So they depend on India, okay, for receiving cotton textiles which is required for their respective countries. Now India has large production of cotton textile, and if they trade and sell it to other countries which require it gets money in exchange of that transaction, of that trade, of that commerce. So you see how countries depend on each other at a global or international level. Now, when goods are manufactured for trade and commerce between different countries at a global or international level, then there's one thing which becomes very important, and that is quality of the product. Okay, the products need to be of high quality, or it needs to meet the standard of the quality. Okay, if they are below the standard, then it may not find market, or it may not be requested or asked by other countries. Okay, it may not find people who are ready to buy it. Okay, so only when the products are of good quality, only when the products meet the standard uh, which is arranged or which is announced by different countries at an international level, then only they can be sold, they can be traded, they can be purchased. Okay, so that is why it becomes very important to make sure that the products, the finished goods, are at par in quality with those in the international market. So the goods that are produced, that are manufactured in India, which then is traded, which then is exported outside to other countries, they have to be in par of same quality that that are available in the international market. If the quality is not so good, then they cannot have the same demand that it has in the market or by other foreign countries at an international level. Okay. And then only when the quality of the goods are met, when the standard of the goods are maintained, then only Indian economy or the products that are produced, manufactured in India, that can compete successfully at a global level, at an international level. Okay. National economy and industries, the relationship between the economy of a nation and industries that exist in that particular nation. Now, since independence of our country, and we received independence in the year 1947. So, since the year 1947, our country has been or has managed to become self-sufficient in manufacturing variety of goods. Okay, our governments have worked towards improving and developing industrial sector, and hence we have been able to be self-sufficient when it comes to manufacture of various goods that we require. Okay. However, recently, in the recent years, this sector, the manufacturing industries, have experienced or has been experiencing stagnation. Okay, it is unable to grow. Stagnation means unable to grow or develop or progress, do better. Okay, so the sector has not been able to develop or grow. Okay, the desired growth rate over the next decade, over the next 10 years is 12%. But the current growth rate in the manufacturing sector, manufacturing industrial sector, it's only 7% per annum. So you see, we should actually have 12% of growth rate in the industrial sector, but we have only arrived at 7% per annum annually. Okay, so you can see that the growth rate is not what it should be. It's below what it should be. Alright, so the industrial sector, the manufacturing sector is not doing so well in the recent years. In 2004, the growth rate was between 9 to 10%, but still it's not reached 12%, right? So it's not that good. It does not indicate it does not indicate strong economy in our country. All right. So this is why the economists they have shared their opinions. They have shared their views as to what can be done in order to help the economy develop so that the country also develops, right? Help the industrial sector grow or develop so that the country also develops, because we know with the development and growth of the manufacturing sector, the country's economy also grows. So the economists are of the opinion or have shared their view, and they have said that manufacturing can achieve its target in order to achieve 12% per annum target over the next decade. They can achieve it only if they are supported by appropriate policy interventions which are introduced by the government, and if the efforts by the industry is renewed for the improvement of their productivity. So basically, the economists are saying there are two things that can be required for the increased or for overcoming the stagnation that the manufacturing sector now experiences. First is the government intervention. Government should introduce policies, rules, okay, for the improvement of the industrial sector. And secondly, the industries themselves, they should make effort to make sure that they work towards improvement of the productivity. Okay, that they come out of the stagnation state of stagnation. Okay. Now the government of our country, it introduced a scheme, or it introduced a platform, okay, a body, let's say a body, and that is called National Manufacturing Competitiveness Council, NMCC. Now this was founded for policy dialogue to energize and sustain the growth of manufacturing industries in India. So this was basically established by the government so that people can come together, both who are involved in the industrial sector and both who are representing the government of India. So they can come together and they can have dialogue, they can have talks, okay, they can have discussions as to what can be done for the growth of the manufacturing industries in the country, which then will lead to the growth in the economy of our nation. At industries and their location of industries, okay. For industries, location is very important. Until now, we learned about manufacturing. We learned what it entails, what it means. We learned its importance, the importance of industries for the nation. Now we look at industries and why it is important for industries to be located at certain places. Okay. So the first question that we ask is, how does location of an industry affect it? Okay. There are many factors that play important role in its location. And some of the most important ones are availability of raw material, whether the raw material is available in its locality or not, or how far it is available, how short the distance is from the place where the raw materials can be procured, obtained, to where the industries are set up. Okay, availability of labor, workforce, people who can work in the industries or who can work in transporting the raw materials to the industries and transporting the finished goods from the industries to the market. Capital, money, investment. Okay, in order to make all these processes work, you need money, you need investment, right? Without that, you cannot function. Without that, the manufacturing industries cannot run. Power, okay, resources, electricity, water, etc. Market, whether the market is nearby or not, or whether it's far. Okay, what is the demand of the product that is being produced? So you see, these are all factors which help in deciding or in impacting the location of the industries. Now, when you want to build an industry or factory, it's very difficult for us to find all these raw materials, labor, all these factors available in that particular area. There will never be a time where you set up a factory and you have raw materials in the neighborhood area. You have plenty of workforce or people who are ready to work. You have lots of money. You have market which has high demand of the product. That cannot happen. Okay. But despite having said that, normally industries are set up or they are established at a place where most of these factors are present naturally, where they can be, or if not present, then they can be made easily available at a reasonable cost. They have to ensure that they cannot spend, or they need not spend a huge amount of money making sure that all these factors are available. Okay, they try very hard to make sure that some of them are available, and if not available, then they can be available at a reasonable cost. Then it is good for the industries. Otherwise, they go in loss. Okay. So here what we need to consider is industrialization and urbanization go hand in hand. Industries and urban sector, urban areas go hand in hand. Okay, let's see how. When an industry is set up, say for example, in an area, industries are built, they are set up, okay. Then the people who work there, they begin to settle in the area around it, okay. If this is an area of industry, then they automatically begin to live in the area surrounding it, okay. So settlement is formed, settlement of the workers, okay. As a result of it, in due course of time, when people, more and more people settle in that area, then markets are also set up in that area. There also markets emerge, banking services begin to be provided, transport becomes available, more people come and live, because people who begin to live in those settlements, they bring their families, they bring their relatives from their villages, from the towns, from the states, and they also then begin to work in the industries. Okay, so all these happens automatically. Okay, but of course it takes time. Gradually these settlements, these services begin to be established and provided. Okay, so you can say that urbanization follows industrial activity. Okay, industry is set up, but the urbanization, okay, these urbanization or the aspects of urbanization, they follow the industrial activity. That is one case which shows how industrialization and urbanization go hand in hand. Let's look at case 2, the second case. Here we'll consider cities or towns, urban areas. Okay, urban areas. Now, industries sometimes they are built by looking at where urban centers are situated. So, if there are cities, popular cities, or cities where a lot of people live, then some of the industries, they decide to set up one of their factories or industries there. Okay, why? Because cities have lot of people who can work in the industries. Cities have banking services available, they have transport services available. So it becomes easier for the industries to work. Okay, and sometimes what happens, many industries come together and they form a agglomerate. Okay, it's called industrial agglomeration. They come together and form a group and they set up an industry or a factory in the city. Okay, and that way they can get more people to work from the city, they can get banking services, transportation, raw materials from the cities that they require for the functioning of the industries. Okay, so what we can see is agglomeration economies emerge in the cities, urban areas. So what you can see here is industrial activity follows urbanization. The first case was urbanization follows industrial activity, but in the second case, industrial activity follows urbanization. So these are the two cases which helps us understand how urbanization and industrialization, they are linked together. Okay, so some of the examples for urban centers which are industrially developed and where we can see these cases, they are Mumbai, Kolkata, Chennai. Okay, they impact the areas around them. People come and work there. Okay, the factories are industries, they are built in the city, thinking that people can easily go work in these industries. Banking services, transportation services, communication, all that services are readily available in the cities. Okay, so these are some of the important examples. Some of the types of industries. Okay, their categorization, how we can categorize them on the basis of what, and we'll look at the different types of industries. Okay, now industries can be divided based on labor, availability of labor, raw materials, sources of raw materials, where the raw materials can be obtained from, ownership of the industries. Okay, so all these helps in the categorization of the industries. So the first category that we are going to see is based on bulk and weight of raw materials. So based on how heavy or how light the raw materials used are, and how are the finished goods, whether the finished goods are heavy or whether they are light. So based on this, the industries can be divided into two. The first one is heavy industries. The second one is called light industries. So for heavy industries, the Examples are iron and steel industries, shipbuilding industries or factories. Okay, in the heavy industry, the raw material and finished goods, both the raw materials used for the manufacture of the finished goods, they are both heavy, they are not light. Okay, which means they need transportation. Transportation becomes very important for these heavy industries because people cannot carry it on their shoulders or on their arms and then walk and transport it from one place to another. They need huge trucks and lorries, okay, to transport the finished goods as well as the raw materials. Light industries, on the other hand, they are electric industries, sewing machines industries, etc. Okay, so the raw materials and the finished goods are both light. Okay, they are not as heavy and massive as that of heavy industries. Okay, the second categorization that we are going to look at is based on raw material, based on the raw material used by the industries. So there are two types again. The first one is called agro-based industries and the second one is called mineral-based industries. Now in the agro-based industries, the raw material used come from agriculture. So rubber, sugar, cotton, edible oil, coffee, tea, etc. In the mineral-based industries, the raw materials used by the industries come from the natural environment, which are minerals, metals, etc. Okay, so they are iron and steel, the iron ore, petrochemicals, aluminium, cement, machine tools, etc. Okay. The next categorization is based on capital investment. How much money is invested in the manufacturing of certain goods in the industries. Okay, so that again can be divided into two, which is large scale industries and small scale industries. Large scale industries have huge investments. Okay, small scale industries on the other hand do not have large investments but small investments. Okay, so the investment in the large scale industries are more than 1 crore. Okay, and the labor employed here, the workers employed here are large because the investment is a lot. In the small scale industries, the investment is less than 1 crore, so small investments, and as a result of that, the labor or the workers employed in small scale industries are also very less. Alright. The next categorization of the industries can be based on ownership. Who owns the industries? So there are 4 types. The first one is public sector. Okay, the industries are public sector. The second type is private sector. Third is joint sector, and fourth is cooperative sector. Now the public sector is those public sector includes those industries which are owned and operated by the government. Okay. And in the private sector, the term itself clearly tells us the industries and its operation are owned by individuals or group of individuals. Okay. So some of the examples are Bajaj Auto Limited, Dabur Industries, Tisco, etc. For the public sector, Vale, SAIL, etc. Okay. The joint sector, in this sector, the industries are jointly owned and operated or managed by the government as well as the individual. Okay, as well as the private individuals or groups of individuals. So example is Oil India Limited. Okay. In the cooperative sector, the industries or manufacturing sectors, they are owned and operated by the producers or suppliers of raw materials, the ones who are producing the goods or the ones who are supplying the raw materials, or workers, or both. Okay, so it's a cooperative. All of them take part in a way that suits them and they manage the operation of the industries. Okay, here resources are pooled, so the investment is made in such a way that everyone contributes their bit and the profit is then shared. okay, or losses are also shared. So the coal industry in Kerala, sugar industry in Maharashtra, these are all cooperative sectors, industries that belong to the category of cooperative sector. The next categorization that we are going to see is based on the role or use of manufactured goods. How the manufactured goods are used, based on that, this categorization is made. So the first one is basic or key industries. The second is consumer industries. So what are basic or key industries? These industries supply manufactured products as raw material for other industries. So these industries they manufacture products, but their products act as raw materials to other industries like iron and steel, aluminium, copper smelting. These are all examples of key or basic industries. The second type is consumer industries. These produce goods which can be directly used by the consumers like us. Okay. So toothpaste, cotton clothes, fans, paper, etc. These are consumer industries. The industries which produce clothes, which produce toothpaste. That after the production, the consumers can directly consume it, directly use it. Alright.